I will go for pro.
Well, it is actually a liege, so you got it correct. You got it correct. So let's see if you get the full house.
Let's go. I think this one will go for low because he's like playing close to cat and like smoking, and the other guy's CT, and he's like the guys T are just running on the smoke with no flashes, no anything. So I go for low.
It is in fact a pro. It's Magix. Not Magisk, Magix against Astralis, so against Magisk, funnily enough.
First show was super easy, but the last show was kinda tricky.
You got 3, and I wonder what the people in the chat got. So guys, comment your scores, and thank you very much for watching.
Everyone from inside of Liquid firing on all cylinders.
That was a very positive sign coming out of VP.
They don't know that he's there. He doesn't fire the gun. He's waiting for it. Goes back to check. He sees one. He spins around. And what a play for James. All right, Kindar just straight in there. That smoke covered nothing at all, did it? Wow.
Oh, they collide. Fallen will be swarmed, killing the short player, knowing that he waits, he wins.
The semi-final showdown continues, and both VP and Liquid are out for blood. Only one of these two teams will ascend the heights of the bracket and meet Mad Lions in the grand finals tomorrow. And Maniac, this is a very exciting prospect for this game coming up, particularly seeing what we've seen of the team so far in the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. For Liquid, I think times are very grave right now. Times are very important. Liquid have a mission at this event with the major coming over. Liquid's mission is to once again be considered a team that can win championships. They have left that conversation. Because of the results, we have taken them out of that very short list. But now, these few weeks ahead of us, they have an opportunity to get back in.
Yes, it's a team with a lot of skill. It's a team with a lot of experience, as you can see right here. Leash, Neff, Stewie, Fallen, and Grim. They're all, 10-year players. Maybe Grim is the newest addition to the lineup, still lacks a bit of experience. Hasn't really played in the big arenas either, as he came in during the COVID period. So there's a bit of a question mark for him when it comes to the major and when it comes to performing at the biggest stage. But we know what the rest of this squad can do when firing on all cylinders.
Well, speaking of the squad, we are going to get the opportunity to catch up with 2 of the members of Team Liquid heading into this series.
And what do you think is missing, right? What is the next pieces that you guys need to put together and solve? Because you've had time with this roster together since Fallen's come in, but we're still not maybe seeing the heights of what old Liquid was.
I think just like with how our team is right now, we're still, I think like our main issue right now is that we still kind of have some confusion on how some people, like one person wants one thing to be a specific way, one person needs something to be a specific way. And we're all trying our best to follow everyone's way of playing a game. But obviously, in the end, Fallen is our leader, and we try to do everything we can to support him and stay under his guidelines and all that. So, but right now, I think what we need right now is to make sure we have a really good atmosphere, a good team environment, and making sure we're just simply all on the same page. Because I feel like sometimes we're doing things the right way, but some of us are just on the wrong page. And there's times where we just need to just be all on the same page, even if it's the wrong thing to do. Mainly, it's just all about being in sync with each other, and that's something we need to work on, and that's something we need to have if we want to win, for sure.
I also wanted to ask a little bit about the fact that obviously Fallen's taken over the IGL side of things, you've come off of it now, and just how you found the transition and how you're feeling right now as a player with your role in the team.
Yeah, so the previous switch that we made before when Fallen came, I had a lot of feedback for him, a lot of criticism that I feel that we can do better with since he moved into the IGO role, and I was trying to give my 2 cents for that, and I realized that it might have struck, some confidence in his calling. So this time around, we made the switch. I just tried to still do the best I can in terms of helping him mid-round or whenever I see anything, because I know as a caller that it's always nice to have another voice and, someone that you can rely on. But we also have a lot of different minds on the team. We have Lige as well. He's one of the vocal ones as well. So for us, we have a lot of different ideas and a lot of different visions of the game. So we're really going to have to work on finding that one vision and putting it all together and making sure we all see the same one. And for me, not calling anymore, it gives me a little more leisure and it lets me focus on my game a little bit and my partner on map control, like Mike, for example. Yeah. So I get to focus on my screen a lot more.
That is really interesting, getting to hear about how Liquid are trying to balance the plethora of voices that they have on the side of the roster, particularly when, you know, Fallen's coming in, Stewie's having to step away from that main IGL role.
Look, when you think about Liquid and some of the losses they've had in the past, some heartbreak losses, right? You can feel when you watch them that when push comes to shove, when it's the most important moment in the game, there is not a decisive action that everyone kind of buys into. And that is the key. And Nav said it, even if it's not the best plan, because there are a lot of thinkers on lineups. There's a lot of people who understand the game and have a way to think about Counter-Strike. But when it's important, doesn't matter if you, if Jacob disagrees with the call, you follow it 100% and you give everything. That's the only way you maximize your chances. And that's something Liquid have been struggling with.
I promised myself I wouldn't do this, but I have to say it.
Oh Lord!
When I was playing in Team Liquid back in the days, Matthew,
bingo,
we had a problem. That's a one. That's a bingo. We had a problem, and we never had an identity. We never had an in-game leader. One week it was Elise, one week it was Hiko, the next it was Nitro, and one week I was considering maybe I should be an in-game leader. That's been a problem for Liquid for forever, basically. Even when they were winning the Instant Grand Slam, Nitro were never supposed to be an in-game leader, and to my understanding, he never had the personality to do it. Yet they were still up there with the very best teams. Now, finally, they get a true hardcore in-game leader in Fallen, and they don't even want to use him in the beginning. It's still Stewie2k. He was not a natural in-game leader either. So they're switching back and forth, and as a result, Liquid's results have been very inconsistent. They've never been able to replicate the performance they had during the Instant Grand Slam, and I think it stems down for that identity crisis and that mentality that Liquid always have had, even from my time, that an in-game leader apparently isn't needed to be the best. And in modern days Counter-Strike, it is.
Yeah, no, and it brings up the phrase to mind for me that, you know, too many cooks in terms of so many voices giving that information, as you were correctly saying, Maniac. You know, who are you going to follow when you're in one of those crucial situations? Fallen's giving you info, Stewie's giving you advice. Like, it kind of just works in terms of like a mess there.
Well, I think it can be a double-edged sword in a sense that you always want to have players who are implicated and have an idea and are interested in Counter-Strike. I think it's great, and we have some mic'd up moments where, you know, everyone is coming in with like information. That is great, right? But the first challenge is to take all of these ingredients and turn it into a good meal that you can appreciate. If that doesn't go together, this all goes to hell. And that is, I think, the main challenge that Liquid always had to handle with this roster.
I think we need to put Fallen under the microscope a little bit and compare him to somebody he's going to be facing up against on the other side of the server in James. So how are you kind of comparing these two stars when they go under the microscope?
I mean, it is interesting because it's not often you have two AWP players actually being the two in-game leaders as well as the lineups. It doesn't happen often. There's not a lot of in-game leading ops at the moment, but these two are two of the best we got. Fallen have been looking better and better, I will say. He's still not up to par with Fallen from 2015, 16, 17, and most likely he'll never be at that level again. He's involved and he's at a new level. Whereas for James, I think he's getting better. We talked about him in the first game. I think he's evolving. I think he's better at being proactive. He's not as defensive all the time. He doesn't save as much as he used to. So I right now think for once that James actually is a solid Counter-Strike player. As Matthew said, one of the highest rated players in the entire year as well. Fallen can match that. Fallen can match the output on the server. So there's a clear direction in that duel, and that's going to lean towards James in this one.
Yeah, James is an extremely good opera, honestly, and now I feel like with Yakin there by his side, the impact he's had and the way he plays Counter-Strike in VP is extremely optimal. And they have a style that is tailored to what he needs. He likes to punish, he likes to be patient. And we have moved away from the memes of only saving James whatsoever. Now he can be a bit more exotic, he can be a bit more